So, guys, you need to listen to how Arise TV crew have reacted to Tinubu's statement saying he likes seeing other political parties being in disarray. Can you imagine that coming from a leader saying he enjoys seeing political parties in disarray? Many Nigerians have reacted, saying Tinubu coming out to boast that he is in support of democracy, that actually democracy has suffered a whole lot of blow under his watch. We've seen what is happening even in Rivers State today, how a democratically elected governor was removed for Tinubu's interest because they are interested in 2027 and they now put somebody as a sole administrator. Nigerians are still watching closely on what Tinubu is going to do, as that 6 months will soon come to expiration. You must have seen that even the governor that was removed initially went to see Wike, to beg Wike, according to report. And again, we now saw him with Tinubu. People are saying that conclusion is being made for him to move to the APC. It's all about, forcing people to support Tinubu in 2027. And Tinubu is telling Nigerians that he believes in democracy, he supports democracy. So, guys, this country remains a joke. Anyway, I'm going to allow you to take a look at how Arise TV crew members have all reacted to what Tinubu said, that he likes and enjoys, seeing other political parties in disarray. Take your time, watch this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, take a look.
Still stand up for democracy to defend citizens' rights to do so. Let's take a look.
Do not be afraid to bear an unkind word spoken against you. Some of the best advice a politician gets sometimes comes from his most ferocious opponents, if they think well, though. We do not seek silence because the imposed silence of repressed voices may breed chaos and ill will, while malicious slander and libel should not go unattended. No one should bear the brunt of injustice for merely writing a bad report about me or call me names. Democracy requires a fair degree of tolerance for harsh words and stinging insults, particularly when they are pained because of their losses. Call me any name. I'm not here to make you happy politically. And I will still call upon democracy to defend your right to do so.
Well, all right, fantastic. I'd like to take a reaction, if you can pull up that reaction. And this person wrote, "That's the spirit of true democracy, where we don't have to agree to coexist. Thank you, Mr. President, for acknowledging every Nigerian's right to speak, even when opinions differ. We'll keep holding on to that freedom as we push for a better Nigeria." I think that's a very positive reaction and good for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to say that, he defends the right to free speech. Well, in that whole address, Tinubu also paid tribute to the heroes of Nigeria's democracy, including MKO Abiola, and highlighted his administration's efforts in economic reform and national security. He urged lawmakers to support his pro-industry and pro-agriculture legislative agenda, stating that he wants to make agriculture sexy by introducing tractors. Vimbai, we saw that story, make agriculture sexy. I love that comment. It did trend all over social media. Meanwhile, a former Bayelsa State governor, Seriki Dixon, criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday over the emergency rule in Rivers State and the continued suspension of Governor Sim Fubara in celebration of the 26th anniversary of democratic rule. Dixon said the president missed the chance to redeem his government and clear it of wrongdoing, adding that Tinubu cannot celebrate democracy while suppressing it in Rivers State. Let's take a look.
But you cannot be celebrating democracy. You cannot be flaunting yourself as a Democrat on the one hand, and on the other hand, be trampling democracy under your big presidential foot in Rivers State. The president missed a golden opportunity to raise and deepen democracy in Nigeria by restoring on today's Democracy Day, democratic and normal civil constitutional rule in Rivers State. Of all the things the president said, the president was silent about Rivers State. And today is about democracy. It's not because of Fubara's nationality. It's not about Fubara's party, if he has any. And these days, you can't even be sure which party people belong to. But these are issues about respecting the democratic rights of the people of Rivers State under the Constitution. So I'm disappointed, firstly, that the president never said a word about the undemocratic developments in Rivers State, which he has enabled, which he has brought about, which he has sanctioned, and which he continues to sustain. and creating an impression as if all is well. No. As long as any part of Nigeria is under military rule, democracy is endangered in Nigeria as a whole.
Rufai, I think Dixon there is on point.
Very, very on point. In fact, more than on point. And we've always said this. President Tinubu claims he's a Democrat. But are some of the things he has done, are they democratic in nature? No. The state of emergency is one, and it's a dark spot. But on the flip side, you still saw Fubara going to visit him and say that yo to him. Probably things were panning out, he might return soon. But the fact that that was done in the first place is a blight on this country. Because if I remember correctly, the same President Tinubu did make his voice heard when Olusegun Obasanjo did the same. In fact, the argument then was the reason why Olusegun Obasanjo could do the same was because he had a military past. Then Goodluck Jonathan also did the same, but not at this level of removing the governor. And people argued. And now President Tinubu, that is totally civilian, has also done the same. So, Sierrake Dixon is 100% correct. The next point I'm going to make this morning is also, in as much as I thank the president and I appreciate him for recognizing these people, is also the loud omissions we saw in that list. I have a lot of people that I'm happy about in that list, the likes of Kiki. And like I told him, I will no longer call him Kayode Komolafe Kiki again. I will call him OON. And anytime I call him that OON, there are implications. That's just it. So OON. So I'm happy about that. But the loud omissions, people like Sowore. Sowore was a man that used his youth to fight for this country and fight for democracy. If Sowore is about 54 today, he was about 22 years of age then.
Right.
When he was fighting. The likes of Dele Momodu that had to run. The likes of Kayode Fayemi, the likes of the entire crew of Kudirat Radio.
Right. Speaking about Sowore, what about his thoughts about, defending free speech? Because, Sowore has been one of those huge critics of this administration.
Yes.
What did you make of the president's comment about
the right?
The
president can talk. There's a difference between speech and action. Oji, I tell you this. Do you know how many cases of journalists that wrote stories that have been put in security gulag that have had to intervene? Is it because we don't come out and say most of these cases in public? That we've had to intervene. That's why a lot of people criticize me and say, Rufai, you don't do anything about this government. They don't know the things I do to repair this government's image in the background. And I will just call those in authority and say, see, if this is coming, it's going to be a blight on your administration, so fix it once and for all. Do you know how many I have dealt with? So the president can talk about right to free speech. Are the people working for him, do they listen to what he says? Don't they have their own mindsets? And that's why I put it, do you know how many I said, please, if this gets out, you will not like the blight on your administration. So please, the president can say, what do you expect him to say? He will say, you can abuse me all you want. But it's in the implementation, like they say, the taste of the pudding is in the eating.
It's in the eating, well, all right.
So it's not just about saying, he's standing up tall. And that's why we stand up against the president when the state of emergency thing happened. The likes of Dele Momodu, the likes of Baba Femi Ojodu. Yes, some people argue that he had been given national honor before, but these are people that should be appreciated. I will also say
we'll
to Egbobayo Onanuga,
we have a section for that.
Big congratulations to Egbobayo Onanuga, because he truly deserves it. Egbobayo Onanuga suffered for democracy in this country, and I give him his honor. It doesn't mean I don't disagree with him when it's time, but congrats, sir.
Well, the president also mocked opposition parties, stating that it was indeed a pleasure to witness the parties in disarray. He advised them to examine their internal processes rather than blaming the APC for their crisis. Dismissing the notion that the APC is attempting to establish a one-party state, Tinubu highlighted his own history as a lone progressive governor resisting a one-party state attempt in 2003. He added that the APC will be guilty of political malpractice if it refused to accept those seeking to join the party.
At this point, I plead for your indulgence so that I may put a terrible rumor to bed. To those who ring the alarm that the APC is intent on a one-party state, I offer you a most personal promise. While your alarm may be as a result of their panic, it rings an error. At no time in the past, nor any instance in the present, and at no future junction, shall I view the notion of one-party state as good for Nigeria.
But still on Democracy Day, former Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi took a swipe at the Tinubu administration, accusing it of hypocrisy and playing politics instead of addressing the needs of Nigerians. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Thursday, Obi said the government has spent the last 2 years manipulating narratives and shifting blame rather than delivering measurable progress. Let's take a look.
It is most troubling that in 2 years in office, the present government has brought our nation to the point where our leaders now celebrate and endorse failure, lies, and propaganda. The government today, rather than show genuine accountability and measurable progress, focuses on manipulating the narratives, gaslighting the public, shifting blame, and weaponizing governance. Meanwhile, Nigerians live in a worsening and worrisome insecurity, widespread corruption, hunger, and general despondency. There are no clear benchmark for measuring tangible development as we continue to witness the collapse of key indicators like education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation, which are the parameters for measuring national progress.
All right, Dr. Abati, opposition leader there, saying that the Tinubu administration is playing politics. This is what we've been hearing.
Well, the thing to note, because some people may make the comment and say, why is Peter Obi making the rounds? He has appeared on our channels, TVC, News Central, and all of that. Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar also issued a statement on the occasion of June 12. The thing to realize here is that this June 12 is for all of us. It's not only government, it's not only the ruling party that has the right to comment on it. And that's why you have opposition leaders also expressing their views. Earlier on, we quoted Engineer Yabagi Sani of the ADP. Now we have Mr. Obi on the screen. If you check the papers, you also see statements by other leaders, including Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar. Now, what did Mr. Peter Obi say? He said, look, 20 million Nigerians, according to WHO, have mental issues. And that's a frightening figure in a country where most of your psychiatrists, they've gone into political appointments, or some of them have abandoned psychiatry. They are running barbing salons or hotels, or they have become farmers. 20 million in this population. The figure may even be more than that, because the way some people behave, you see that they actually need the help of psychiatrists. Mr. Peter Obi made the point that, look, Nigeria has the largest number of children suffering from malnutrition. I guess he must have been quoting UNICEF. He says there is a hunger in the land. We don't need to be told that there is hunger in the land. He says there is poverty in the land, walking on stilts. We don't need to argue with him over that. In other words, he was confronting us at that press conference with the reality that, look, Nigeria is still a work in progress. Where people may disagree with him is to say, what Tinubu has been doing since he got there is to play politics. That may be a very harsh assessment of the administration. And I think the administration has done a very good job in the last few weeks of advertising what, it has been doing. Even the legislature, we have 2 senators on this program this morning. They were very defensive in saying that, the National Assembly has been very productive. But, I don't want to go into the details of helping the Tinubu administration to counter what Mr. Peter Obi has said. There are enough people who have been employed to do that job. And I believe that in due course, they will come forward. But it's good to have both sides of the coin. More so, as President Tinubu says, he doesn't mind criticism. More so, as he says, you can call me names. I mean, it's your right. I would defend your right to call me names. What is not allowed is malicious slander or libel. And that is the point to be made. And I think that President Tinubu, that portion of his speech should be specially carved out, and copies of that portion of his speech made available to all the people working for him, including ministers who like to abuse people, including governors who like to arrest anybody that criticizes them on social media. That, look, this is the spirit of the Tinubu administration. Tolerance, unity, people realizing that other people have rights. And that right includes the right of bystanders and busybodies like us. So the president has empowered us now. Go ahead and talk. Criticize me. I'm ready. So you have been energized. You have been empowered by the president. Say, anybody that says, we will tell him, the man who has appointed you has given us the power. He has reminded us of our right under the Constitution.
Me no more me. kò dénú ọlọ́mọ.
No, but the president spoke publicly.
Bá mi nọmọ mi, kò dénú ọlọ́mọ.
No, he slandered that the president says he doesn't
Yorùbá bọ̀,
want.
wọ́n ní bá mi nọmọ mi, kò dénú ọlọ́mọ.
No, but slander and libel are not even
Là-bas.
allowed. Yeah. But I think the spirit of it, tolerance, no dictatorship, no one party state. I think that the president spoke well along those lines.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the fact that look, robust democracy, participatory democracy. That is the spirit. It's now for the president to walk the talk and call people who do not believe in his ideas to order,
All right.
to behave themselves. Otherwise, that would be an endorsement, a presidential endorsement to do otherwise of banality and gagaism.
Well, all right. Bimba, your comments on all the stories before we head over to Ogun State.
Well, very quickly, I felt that Democracy Day could have taken a more of a unifying tone. I think that people were looking forward to hearing a message of encouragement. Yes, it's not the president's duty to help the opposition. The opposition is in disarray and they need to get their house in order. However, in the spirit of the day, I think that those who are accusing him of politicizing the day somewhat may be more in order because the bystanders were really looking forward to something more, something that deepens the spirit of democracy.
So guys, you can imagine the kind of country we are today that fears opposition. I mean, the Tinubu's government fears opposition. Tinubu knows how he got to power. And for him, if he sits quiet, he might be removed. And there is no other option. They know that Peter Obi is a powerful force. There is no other option for him if not to force other politicians to join the APC. He has come out to say that he's in support of, democracy. But other leaders, Peter Obi, Dixon, they've all blasted Tinubu that there is no democracy under your leadership. A president that removed a democratically elected governor to put his own sole administrator, and the man has been working in favor of Tinubu ahead of 2027. And you come out to tell Nigerians that you are in support of democracy, while there is no democracy in Nigeria. And that's why people are reacting to all this. Anyway, guys, it's really, really so sad, seeing that some of these people are coming out to say all kinds of things that they don't even know, that there is democracy in this Nigeria where the IGP will arrest you if you criticize the Tinubu's government, if you criticize them, And like you can see, recently, they came out to say that Tinubu is saying that he's no longer in support of arresting people who criticize him, that they should criticize him. Why didn't you say it? Why didn't you say it? You came out to tell Nigerians that you don't want people to criticize you, that you don't even like going to the social media because it gives you stress. And the IGP supported you by arresting people who criticize the government. Now you are telling us that, you don't want that arrest again. Anyway, guys, that is the kind of country we want. He just wants to paint himself so that the international community will see him as somebody in support of democracy. There is no democracy in Nigeria, and that is what Nigerians are saying. There is no democracy in Nigeria. Now, going to the Supreme Court, there is this headline saying Supreme Court Justice Okoro reportedly cited in Benin Hotel with Edo Attorney General ahead of election appeal by opposition. That's PDP. Can you imagine? All these politicians, God knows how he's going to judge them. Honestly, they've ruined democracy. Now, one of the judges is being accused of collecting bribe ahead of ruling. The bribe that these judges have been eating, I don't know. The bribe, they are the ones that have really shattered democracy in Nigeria. Because without bribe, they can't survive. They can't. Now, this person said this is how they are. Bribery and corruption movement. May POP collapse on them while collecting bribe. You see, and this other person say, is that strange or new? What do you expect from corrupt system with corrupt and illegitimate president? You see, they have been paying since tribunal. They have been paying since tribunal. So the political APC is in power. They have money. We all know how the governor in Edo State emerged, even when he does not even have the qualification. He emerged. And now they want to force him on the people instead of the judiciary to look into all that brought him to power and see the loopholes and correct it. They are forcing him on the people. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.